The spirit of the Big Phat Band continues. Welcome to the Big Phat Pod with hosts Vangie Gunn-Goodwin and Andrew Kesler.
Hey everybody, welcome to this week's Chit Chat. We had so much amazing content about Hunting Wabbits 25 that we had to split it into 2 episodes. Woo! And because of that, we didn't have enough of Andrew's and my little banter and chit-chat talk that we usually do before each episode. So I'm jumping on here, obviously, in the car, and gonna talk a little bit about today's episode and a tiny bit of the history of Hunting Wabbits. So as you know, just as a recap, this is Gordon's second biggest hit of all times, Hunting Wabbits. Do you know what his first big hit is? I bet you do. We'll talk about that later. But his second biggest hit, it was released in 2003 on the album XXL. Fantastic album. It is actually one of my favorites that he put out. The first trombone solo was with Andy Martin. And as we talked about at last week's episode 1, Andy Martin is also the soloist on this new version, Hunting Wabbits 25. So today, you're going to hear interviews from all of our saxophone players. We split them into 2 because we got so many of them, we didn't have room for them all in one sitting. And so you're going to hear from Brian and Annabelle and Danny Kanayuki and Jay Mason, Alex Hahn, Brett McDonald. Who am I missing? Anyway, watch it. It's really fun. And then we have an interview and a lot of video, so make sure you go and watch on YouTube, okay? Of Brian Kilgore. Now, Brian Kilgore is the iconic percussionist. He's an orchestral percussionist and timpanist and all of those things on every movie pretty much you could name. He's amazing. Well, he and Gordon were good friends. And so he played on Hunting Wabbits 25 because we added in all of the extras from the string section to the orchestral percussion, timpani, all of it. And we got to sit down with Brian for a little while and talk about it and talk about his history and his resume and everything he's done. He is a good guy. You guys don't want to miss this. Hunting Wabbits 25 has taken this incredible, iconic song to a whole new level. So when we release it, I challenge you to try to listen to it without getting the chills. I think I've listened to it 100 times, and I just listened to it again a couple days ago and was like, just thrilled and inspired and in awe of this arrangement. And that a song that Gordon wrote that was already perfect and so well known and so well played, and just it acknowledges every style of music, has now become better. I couldn't believe that he could actually do that, but he has. So we are so excited about this. And just to remind you, we have had 2 singles released already. You got to go and listen to them, all on Spotify and Apple Music and all the places. That's everywhere you look. And Glitch in the Simulation, which was just released a couple days ago. You've got to go and listen to that. And then the whole album is going to be dropped on July 31st. It's like 3 weeks, you guys. So make sure you pre-buy it, pre-play it, whatever all the pre-stuff is, which will be available in the next few days, okay? The whole album is called 25 Years of Fatness. And again, it's a total miracle that we got it done. We finished recording in the studio about 2 weeks before Gordon got really sick and went in and got diagnosed and life changed. So this album is special, and you're gonna love it. I know we've already been very passionate in every episode about each song and what each song meant to Gordon, and this one really meant a lot to him. It changed his life. It took him to a new level because we've got kids playing it from middle school and high school and college, and we even have adult pickup groups that are playing it. And then the Phat Band plays it at every single concert. Yeah, we love it. So make sure you catch this full episode, and if you didn't watch the first episode about Hunting Wabbits 25, go back and watch it. They're just gems and treasures about the song from all the players we interviewed. The trombone interview is pretty fun. You should go back and watch that. And listen and like and subscribe. You know all the things. Go to YouTube, become a subscriber, give us all the stars, and then go to every podcast platform, please, and give us 5 stars. We need it. But enjoy this episode. It's a beautiful, wonderful trip down memory lane, and then looking forward into the future about what this song holds. All right, you guys, see you soon.
So as I was saying, when I got out of college, realized no one would pay me to do jazz, had to figure something else out. Remember that part? So I got a job at Warner Brothers, and I was on a kind of a staff of composers that were working on some animated TV series they were doing at the time, produced by Steven Spielberg, so that was pretty cool, and they had a little money to work with. And we got a 40-piece orchestra every week for these cartoons. And Spielberg had like a rule, which was no synthesizers. He didn't want any synthesizers or sampled instruments, all real musicians playing animation composing that was in the style of a guy named Carl Stalling, who was the guy that invented it. Like initially for Disney back in the Steamboat Willie days, 1920s. Then he moved to Warner Brothers and wrote music for Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck and all that stuff. He invented the language of how do you score for animation and make it look like the character is thinking. Because especially 2D animation, it tend to look a little bit cheap or artificial, especially when they would walk. They would kind of float across the screen as opposed to walking with weight. You add some strings and a bassoon to this, and all of a sudden the character has gravity. So Carl Stalling figured all that stuff out, and so I had to learn and take a deep dive into his stuff to do that gig I had at Warner Brothers. So I took a real hard look at Carl Stalling's work and learned the rules of the road, and it influenced me a great deal. So I decided at one point to write a piece for him, kind of a tribute to him combined with my big band sensibilities. We're going to play that for you now. This is called Hunting Wabbits.
This is the Big Phat Pod.
We are so excited to be back with my amazing saxophone section, or part of them. And we've got, again, tonight, Danny Kanayuki, Alex Hahn, Brian Scanlon, and yes.
You got the little jazz hands there.
And we're going to talk about the iconic Hunting Wabbits, but this is the Hunting Wabbits 25, which has some addition. But before we get to that,
Yeah, speaking of
Andrew has something to say.
Yeah, well, iconic songs. I mean, Hunting Wabbits is just one of the big hits, which is why it's on this album. But I'm just curious if you have, just to hear from the band, what are some of your favorites to play, or just favorite kind of compositions in general of Gordon's or his arrangements?
Even if you haven't played it, a song that spoke to you.
Yeah.
Who wants to go first?
Well, I got to say this because Gordon writing of Christmas, his arrangements of Christmas songs were really original and amazing. And I always had, we would do a show a lot of years where we would play through all of his Christmas charts. And that would be our show.
Right.
All instrumentals. And it was always a thrill.
Yeah.
I just loved it. And I'd be like, Gordon, man, your Christmas charts are so good. He'd be
Yeah.
like, he didn't really love it, but
didn't.
but I
Really?
certainly, and the crowd just loved his charts. They're really fantastic. Of course, there's a whole number of other charts,
Right.
and also his vocal arrangements
Yeah.
that he did.
Right.
Too Close
The
for
Tick
Comfort.
Six,
Ooh, that one's
yeah.
so
Oh, that chart is just
That one's so good.
that's killing. I love that chart. There's a lot.
Yeah.
Cherokee, I like a lot. too.
Yeah, that arrangement's amazing. As for Christmas, which is ironic, I tried to book Christmas concerts every year. I go, we got to just do one. We got to have a Christmas showing. He'd kind of go like, eh. I go, come on, these charts are so fun. We got to do it.
I always find Christmas records and Christmas arrangements, that's the real time when the arranger can step out and be like, here's my personality. Because it's songs that everybody knows, and then you can be like, all right, you've heard it this way, hear it the Gordon way, or hear it the Dan way, or whatever.
Right.
And they're so clever. The arrangements are
Yeah.
so clever.
They really are.
That's weird. I thought he would be more stoked about it, but I guess, you know.
he's not. In fact, I think we booked a gig at one of the clubs around December, but something else was going on. So I go, are we going to do Christmas charts? And he goes, no. I was like, why not? He goes, no, not appropriate for tonight. I said, okay, but we'll be doing a Christmas concert this year, okay?
That's a good idea.
We
That's
will.
a good idea.
I miss it too. I think they're wonderful.
Yeah.
I know the crowd loves it too, so
Good.
gotcha. Alex, what about you?
So I would say 3 come to mind right away. Samba del Gringo. I think I played it once.
Oh.
And I wish we played it more because I think it's so good. It was also one of the ones that were like so iconic, like right away when I was in high school and like everybody was playing it. So that one comes to mind. We also played Act Your Age a lot in high school, where like I was like Eric Marienthal and like took a big solo out front. I actually performed that at the Hollywood Bowl. My high school played at the Hollywood Bowl Jazz Festival back in 2010. And that was one of the moments that I was like, oh my God, I love performing and I want to keep doing this.
Well,
And,
Hollywood Bowl, I mean.
Yeah, it was like so, but I was like playing that solo and I was just like looking out in the crowd. I'm like, oh my God, this is ridiculous. So that one. And then honestly, this is going to sound cliche, but Hunting Wabbits is so, like everybody knows it, everyone loves it, but it's so good. And like, especially the transitions in and out of like the, whatever you want to call it, the beginning and the end sections, but like in and out of the swing, it's like, it's developed so beautifully. And it's like, yeah, it's just, I love it so much.
Yeah, the beauty of Gordon's animation writing, his cinematic writing really shines in Hunting Wabbits.
And the development and how it just flows so perfectly.
It really does.
Because those two styles are just so opposite.
Yeah.
But they just, yeah, it's brilliant.
Yeah, he was amazing.
Yeah.
Danny?
I think one of my favorites is not a Phat Band one before, Mama Llama Samba.
Oh, yeah. Bill
Watch.
Watrous' band.
Yeah,
It's hard. That's a hard
It's
chart,
a hard
too,
song.
man.
There's some hard solos in there. I loved that song. I love that song.
That is a
growing
really
up.
good one.
Good pull by you.
But I also really liked A Game of Inches, the one he did for Brecker.
With Brecker.
Like
that's
he just
right up
nailed, just the way he wrote, he nailed like the Brecker-isms in the writing,
Right.
so it fit Brecker right when he came, like he wrote it for him, like it made sense. It was pretty incredible.
Totally.
I was listening to XXL today, and I got stuck on High Maintenance. I love
that.
Eric solo on that
Yeah.
one.
I'm thinking about bringing that one back, actually.
That's a
So,
great one.
yeah, I've been kind of throwing it around at Brian and Wayne going, what do you guys think about adding or re-bringing these songs? So things are going to change up. Just, you know, right now we got to focus on 25 Years of Fatness, but we'll get some of the good oldies back in.
Yeah, that's a really good idea. I mean,
It is a good idea.
You don't want those just sitting in the closet.
No,
too
they're
good.
too
Plus, people
good.
love to hear those. Will love to hear
Yes.
those songs. Yeah.
Count Bubba, you know.
Ooh, that's another one.
I mean, I know.
No, no.
How many times have you played Count Bubba?
And Count
He's like,
Bubba's
I-
Revenge.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I know. So that's amazing.
There was a festival one time where high school bands, and I think like there were like 25 bands, and 23 of them played Count Bubba.
Oh, what was Gordon like? "Ah!" Well, you guys, so Gordon took a video on his phone of the soli warm-ups at Soundcheck on our Florida tour a couple years ago, and I just found it on his phone, so I split them up, and I put them on YouTube as shorts, and they've gotten like, I think over 2,000 views, like rapidly.
Wow.
And people are just loving, oh, Count Bubba, there's nothing better, listen to this band, you know, so I thought, oh gosh, I need to really, okay, let's do this.
But we didn't end up playing it on that tour.
I think it was the first tour 2 years ago.
It did pop up again.
I think-
It was the first. I don't know.
I wonder, maybe he just did it for Soundcheck.
I
It's a
think
good
we just did it
soundcheck.
for soundcheck.
Yeah, I have done it for just sound check.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, it
Yeah.
makes sense. It helps, you know, our
Yeah.
sound guy to just get you guys,
Dial
you
everything
know.
in.
But
Yeah.
yeah, it'd be fun. We could do like a hits concert sometime, you know.
It's
but
fun seeing those old songs.
It'd be
in the
fun.
set, for
Maybe we'll
sure.
do that down the road after the album release or something.
There you go.
Sounds good.
Yeah, thinking that through, that keeping this train rolling, you know. So, but I love hearing even the Utes pull from the old stuff. I mean, Mama Sama. Say that one again.
Mama Llama.
Thank you, Mama Sama.
Yeah, good pull, buddy.
Yeah, I know. Seriously. All right, so we got to focus just for a minute on your soli section in Hunting Wabbits 25. What makes this 25 is Gordon added in the strings and timpani, which has just taken it to a whole nother level. It's an incredible song already, but then adding that in. And we've started actually playing with those tracks live, which is amazing. Out front. I know it's a little bit tense on stage, but boy, it sounds good out front.
That's all that matters.
I know, it really does. So let's listen to you guys.
Okay.
sure we get-
Well, which exactly
There's
which part?
solo. There's
from the
solo.
Beginning, very
Yeah.
beginning.
Yeah.
That just top is there we go.
Yeah, and you heard the little extras of
Yeah.
the string section in there. But again, it just shows the amazingness of you guys.
Shout out Jay Mason.
Jay, yeah, once again.
So
kidding.
good.
Once again.
Yeah, Gordon used to talk about his horn is so critical in this style of writing.
The sound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He really records. His sound really records well too.
It does.
It's amazing.
It does.
Yeah, so Gordon got some orchestra gigs a number of years ago. I remember we did this thing in France.
Yeah.
And they wanted to do some of his charts, so he wrote those string parts. He may have changed them since then, I don't know.
Right.
But we did it live with this orchestra.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
I think it was a Polish orchestra.
Yeah.
But we
I
were
think
in
so.
France.
Right.
Yeah.
There's video.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll find it.
That
We'll
was a
link
really
it.
cool trip.
That's
Yeah. Yeah.
And he mentioned to me last year as we were finishing up the charts for the session, hey, maybe I should add the strings. And I was like, yes. So it was kind of a last minute thing, but I think I said this earlier. He goes, but how much is that going to cost? And I go, who cares? But I'm really glad we did
Well, it's interesting because some people that commented that when they heard it and that the other parts started, they thought something was wrong. Because they're so used to hearing it like
Right.
the pure
So
version
iconic.
that it kind of threw them off a little bit.
Good.
So yeah,
Shake
exactly.
it up. Yeah. Yeah, we need to
Get
shake
out of
it
your
up.
comfort zone.
Exactly. And I think that actually is a big theme of Gordon. Don't get comfortable. And so this, anytime we feel like we're comfortable, we got this song, we got it, we don't even have to think it through, then we're going to yank that chart and pull something else to keep you on your toes, you know.
Yeah.
So, and I think now doing this with the tracks live has really put everybody on their toes. Yeah, so, all right, you guys, thank you for coming in again and talking with us. And again, you're just such a critical, huge part to this band. And thank you for being kind and loving to me. So I will see you at the gig, which we have soon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
All right, you
We're
guys.
going on the road.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, who wants to book a 20-piece band? Okay, yeah, here we go. Thanks, you guys.
Okay.
We are here with the saxophone section part 2. Badu. And
The spectacle section.
yeah, the spectacle. I know. They're all wearing glasses. So excited you guys are here. We've got Brett McDonald, Annabelle Seminario, and Jay Mason. So glad you guys are here. We got a lot to talk about. I want to pick your brains and just thank you for coming and being part of the Phat Band. It's so important for me to keep this going, to make sure that Gordon's legacy never ends. And you guys are part of it. So here we go.
I want to kind of introduce. It's rare that I get to be amongst a kin from
Oh,
my own
yes.
country, especially from the prairies. I'm from Saskatoon. And Brett, where are you from?
I grew up in Calgary, Alberta.
Ah,
Yeah.
no rivalry, thankfully.
Oh,
We
good.
generally get along.
Well, you don't have a hockey team. It's just Saskatoon.
We don't have a lot of things in Saskatchewan. But tell us more about your kind of bit of your musical journey and some highlights.
Well, yeah, I grew up in Calgary, and I was very fortunate to have a couple of fantastic band directors in high school. And that was probably the first time that I met Gordon because they were playing at the Banff Center of Fine Arts, and my band director had contacted Gordon and organized clinics. So I got to meet Eric playing in my high school library, talking about the F-sharp major scale on saxophone and how important it was to play in thirds. And I was in 10th grade, never had learned the F-sharp major scale or anything like that. And we got to hear them play like in a small group setting. I don't think it was the full band. But that was quite a catalyst. I had bought XXL, and my brother had bought Swinging for the Fences, and we listened to it in my band director, Mike Sackage's office during lunch breaks, and just cranked Hunting Wabbits every lunch hour until people got sick of it. And that was my experience. You know, I had a couple great teachers. They exposed me to really nice music from a wide variety of genres and encouraged us to seek out new voices. Yeah.
What brought you to America or California even?
I went to the University of North Texas,
Okay.
which is a enormous jazz school. I got a degree in jazz saxophone, and at the time I wasn't sure if I was going to do music. And about halfway through my 12th year of school, I decided to send my tapes to the largest jazz school in North America and see what happened. And then they accepted me, and then I said, well, I have to try to find a scholarship money. And my grades were good enough that the university gave me in-state tuition and a bunch of scholarship money to show up, but not for my musical ability. I want to point that out. I came in years behind my peers, and I had to really work my butt off in order to get to the level of my peers. And
Well, and you certainly have. So tell us
thank
some of the
you.
highlights of your career now.
I after University of North Texas, I went to Rutgers University to get a master's degree with Ralph Bowen, who is one of the most outstanding saxophone players that many people have never heard of, and probably the most influential teacher in my life, and taught me a lot of things about how to approach woodwinds and music playing. And I started playing musical theater immediately out of college. I was out of school for maybe 3 months, and then I did the second national tour of Dreamgirls. I went to Japan, and that's kind of been my career. I spent my 20s doing 10 national tours. I went to Australia twice with the Glenn Miller Orchestra, and all of this happened, and then I was saving up money so I could buy a car and move to LA, because that's kind of where I felt like I was going to be. And it's going to be 10 years in 2 years.
Wow.
Yeah, moved in 2018.
Yeah, man.
And so who called you first to sub in for the Phat Band?
I believe that it was Sal Lozano.
Okay.
This is stretching my memory, but I think it was a gig at Yoshi's.
Okay.
And we were playing the Raymond Scott
Got
record with
it.
Quartet San Francisco.
Man, what an intro.
Reimagined.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so I had to come in pretty cold. I was going to go on tour with How the Grinch Stole Christmas, and so I had to show up a day late, hire a sub, but we made it out to San Francisco and play with the band. It was really intimidating
Sure.
to play on stage. Sal, I was actually subbing for Eric, but Sal played lead and played all the clarinet stuff, so I got to hear him right next to me, who I'd been kind of studying on and off with for almost 10 years. And that was such a cool experience. And then we went into the studio the very next morning and cut the tracks, and then I drove back home.
What an
And
experience.
flew out to Hartford, Connecticut, I think the very next day. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, we recorded at Skywalker Ranch, right?
Skywalker
Yeah.
Ranch, I
That
know.
was
You
fun.
threw him in the deep end.
I know.
Dude.
Yeah, it was
It was
amazing.
a baptism by fire.
It really was.
From the prairies to the ranch, I suppose.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Seriously. And ever since you've been playing with us regularly.
Yeah,
Nan.
part of the Phat Band
You
family.
are part of the family. 100%. Yeah, thank you
Yeah,
for that.
Thanks, Vangie.
All right, Annabelle Seminario. Tell
Hello.
us about your journey a little bit of your career, school. Where were you born?
I was born in Lima, Peru. Yeah, 1990. And I started music in high school. I joined, concert band. I started on clarinet. Really good, music program for Peru. Very, very lucky to have studied in my high school. My mom did a great effort to, put my brother and I in a good school. And it kind of, went forward with classical studies. I played in the National Youth Symphony Orchestra. I did a bunch of competitions. So I was a very, eager and prominent clarinet player growing up. And right before I finished high school, my dad, who was already here in the States, called me and he's like, hey, your green card's approved. I had no clue.
Oh.
Like my mom, my dad have been, doing it in the back. And when I graduated, I had 2 weeks to leave everything behind and then move here, and it was either I stayed in Peru and studied business, or moved here and had the chance to do music.
Right.
So I was like, duh.
Right.
So like, see ya. And then I moved here, you know, I went to El Camino College. Like I graduated high school and 2 weeks later I was already at El Camino College.
Whoa.
Trying to figure stuff out. You know, and my biggest like cultural reference at the time was Borat. So like, dude, I showed up. I was like, very nice, very nice. And I was like, who is this kid, man? But yeah, you know, I got to El Camino, and it was like a great, you know, I think hopefully people will value it. But just I got to school, and the first thing they gave me was a Mark VI. It's like, oh, I don't have money for a saxophone. They gave me a saxophone. I don't have money for a clarinet. They gave me a clarinet. So I was like, whoa, like. And like really good instruments, and from there it just, you know, progressed to I transferred to Cal State Long Beach. I met Sal. That's when I met Sal.
Okay.
I hit him up and I was like, hey, I'm an incoming student. Can I have a lesson? And he gave me like a 2-hour lesson for free.
Oh.
And then he was like, okay, like if you choose to come here, I'll teach you. I was like, oh, I didn't know it was an audition. Great. You know, and then I did my bachelor's and my master's at Cal State Long Beach, and you know I met Jay there as well. And you know after school, just started working in LA. Did some tours, just like Brad. I worked with a few Persian artists. I was a music director for a really good friend of mine. His name was Farah Marsaslani. We did 2 world tours. Unfortunately, he passed away as well. But I got to learn a lot from the business, being an MD, being on the road, handling tech, live sound. And shortly after that, when that finished, that's when, you know, Sal called me as well to sub for like a New Year's gig.
Okay.
And that's how I got introduced to the Phat Band.
And so you started kind of more classical, and then
Oh,
switched
yeah,
and
absolutely.
tell me a little bit more about the switch to jazz, and because I think that's a bit different for everybody who has education.
Yeah, well, in Peru, jazz is very difficult to study unless you have a lot of money, unfortunately. You know, it's a very privileged type of music to do. Nowadays, it's changing, and I'm trying to help as much as I can to change that. But at the time, it was not doable. So it's actually easier to go the classical route. There's a lot of help from the government. There's like the National Youth Orchestras. All of that is free if you get accepted. But my high school, it was all classical. Like you couldn't be in conservant unless you knew all your scales, all your thirds.
That's great.
You audition every year. So it was very intense. So by the time I moved here, I was so deep into classical world that auditions were really not an issue for me, you know, but I only played clarinet. In the back of my mind, I always wanted to study jazz. I just didn't understand it. I didn't know how to do it. My first jazz lesson didn't happen until I was like maybe 20.
Wow.
So, and I didn't play saxophone until I moved here. So that's when I was like, shortly after, you know, I think I was 19 when I picked up saxophone.
That's mind-blowing to me.
Yeah.
But clarinet is so much harder.
Yeah.
You know,
Agreed.
like it translates well. It's not that impressive.
This is why Gordon stuck it in the closet.
No, but just,
Yeah.
you know,
Yes.
kind of. I mean, that's not old in a sense in the grand scheme of things, but, you know, a lot of people might dabble a little bit more as a teenager, you know, just to get some of those concepts down. But
Yeah.
it seemed like you just always had it in you.
I think it was natural. Like I did listen to music, but at the time I didn't know what I was listening to.
Yeah.
And years later, I have listened to the albums. I'm like, that's the tune I was listening in Peru back in the day, and it turned out to be Cannonball. I just didn't know. But you know, it progressed into a nice change of culture, and it benefited me so well being in the States and learning jazz, and you know, and it has led to so many wonderful things, and Phat Band probably being on the top of that list.
Yeah.
Wow.
Although I was pissed when I got the call because I'd never heard of Gordon until then.
Really?
You know, yeah, in Peru, I wasn't in the jazz world.
Right.
It's different now, but back in the day, it wasn't a thing. So I remember talking to Marcy, my wife, and I was like, why is this music so hard? Like, it makes no sense. It's
What
like,
did she say?
I was like, this is so unnecessarily like hard, and there's so many lines, and it just makes no sense. She's like, who are you playing with? I'm playing with Gordon Goodwin. She's like, shut up. Because she played it in high school, and then she gave me the spiel of like who he was and blah blah blah, and this is why it sounds this way, and I was like, all right, it's good.
You sounded like a classical player looking at Gordon's music.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, well, it's just so different.
It is.
And it's so challenging. But after doing that first gig, just like Brett said, I was like, Sal was playing lead, I was playing second. man, it's probably the hardest I practiced for a gig, just to not mess up in front of him, you know. And we finished the gig, and he was like, all right. All right. And I was like, all right, great, we're good. But Sal's amazing. You know, he's probably my biggest influence since I moved here till now. He helped me so much. You've seen the growth too. You were there. Pretty much taught me everything I needed to know to be
And
successful.
Gordon loved you, man. You brought some spice. I hate to use that term, but you did bring some spice to the group, man.
Well,
and Annabelle
grateful.
and I have a kind of an unspoken language on stage. we mess around. I have to watch it.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. It's pretty fun, Annabelle. So, but tell us, who did you just go out on tour with as well? Somebody pretty well? No?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I went. It was 2 weeks. I went with Ray. You know, did her U.S.
Yeah.
tour. It was fantastic.
There's
it was
great
great.
video of that. Everybody, go look. It's
Yeah,
fantastic.
it was a great experience. It's different. There was a lot of jazz into it. But again, every experience and every group I play feeds into the other. So, you know, I think the Phat Band has helped me just being so centered and so ready for,
Great.
like, the music is so difficult that everything that comes after the Phat Band to me is just like, all right, it's not that bad.
Right.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's
So
that trains you for any gig, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
absolutely. And then you're playing, you know, with this type of musicians.
Right.
So you get to know the best of the best in
Mm-hmm.
town. So when you do a session and you walk in, chances are most of them are gonna be there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a nice group, and I think it brings a lot of good privileges just to be around them and learn and getting to talk to them and being silly around them. And
Right.
they're the nicest cats around. So
They really are.
I am very, very grateful.
That's part of what makes Phat Band so great. We've talked about this over and over with the section interviews. Is not only are you guys the top, the best of the best, session cats, touring cats, but you're fun. So our gigs are a blast. Our tours are super fun. But the thing that I love is our silliness and our craziness comes back into, or it kind of gets shaped up as soon as Ray hits the first hit, you know, or as soon
sometimes,
as somebody
yeah.
gets counted. Well, you know, you and me, I'm like, Annabelle. No.
That's questionable.
That's the thing about
That's questionable.
like being on a tour, being a family like that. It's like, all right, you have to be able to play the chair.
Right.
You have to be able to
Yeah.
like be responsible, like not missing flights, you know, be
Right.
dependable, get back to messages and emails. And then you have to be able to hang. You have to figure out whatever the group hang is, you have to morph into that part of your personality where it just gels, where it doesn't feel like it's outside the box in
Right.
a way. Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, but the stepfathers have been great.
Oh, let's talk about this. We referred it in the saxophone section, part 1. So it was you that came up with this stuff,
Oh,
right?
that was in Japan.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a lot.
So we have the founding fathers.
The founding fathers.
Which are,
So
we want to reiterate it. It's Wayne, Gordon,
Yeah,
Andy,
sure.
it is Eric, and I believe Sal. Okay? Then the stepfathers, right? This is the one I forgot about. Right. So Jay,
Super stepfather.
Brian Scanlon,
Yeah.
Charlie.
All of the older cats.
The
yeah.
older cats. And then we got the Fat Utes, and they're right here.
Yeah, and the puppy, which is Joey.
Puppy.
Yeah. The founding puppy. Yeah. But they were so cool. Like, I mean, it's right to say like they let us do our hang and
Yeah.
bring our humor.
Yeah.
And there's like no judgment. But mainly because we can play our chair.
Well,
Otherwise, it wouldn't make sense.
100%.
Yeah.
If you guys were messing around and not actually bringing it, then they would be like, hey.
Yeah.
But you are bringing it. But it's really fun to watch the integration of the ages. Instead of at first in Japan how it was separated by youth, I think I even pointed it out, and then it loosened up. So
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's a question I have for you, Jay, before we get into all
Your
of
stuff,
that.
yeah.
But has that really kind of been a generational change, like, or when, 25 years ago or whatever, when you kind of started playing with the band, was Eric and Sal, were they as goofy as these two?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, they still are. Please.
Well, I was too, in a little more quiet way than them. But no, they were. Oh, there were all kinds of routines on stage.
Yeah.
That if you watch some of the videos that have shown up on YouTube, you can see those two guys doing stuff.
You're right.
The
They do
ending
this thing.
this,
Yeah.
we had a routine going for a while, back row politics,
Yeah.
when that showed up.
so we had all really gotten into the iPhone thing, and Eric found an app that would scroll in huge letters anything we wanted, so we all had trumpet suck. So they're up there blowing their solos, and we would just have that up.
That needs to come back, because Wayne does the flute sucks thing, you
Yeah.
know, when you guys play flutes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You have to say trumpets blow.
There you go.
Oh, yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, fair.
Well, tell us about your journey.
Okay. Well, I was born a little before 1990.
Yeah. Me too.
Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And my family came here to California in 1964. And we settled in a little town called Huntington Beach, which is now a big town.
A big town.
And I remember my dad telling me that we moved there because it was just far enough away from Newport Beach that we could afford it.
Okay.
But he ended up working at a company there that was doing aerospace. And he remembers a real estate agent saying, this is never going to amount to anything, but you guys are going to have a great time raising your kids there.
Wow.
So Mom was a well-trained concert pianist, and she got me going on the piano when I was 6. And that went for a while. Absolutely reached the point where I hated it because my piano teacher was all classical, nothing else. And of course, this was in the late 60s and the 70s, so hello. Yeah. And so I stopped piano, and a year after that I tried the guitar, which is, I'm in awe of people like Andy Waddell and Sinowick. You know, it's just like, I don't understand that instrument, and I didn't then. And my dad had wanted to play the saxophone. And he said, you should try the saxophone. Well, here we are.
Yeah.
It took. And did all the things these guys did in high school. I was really fortunate. I had a wonderful saxophone teacher in high school named Don Hawkins, who's since left us. I auditioned at North Texas State too, but they didn't give me an in-state scholarship. So my parents said, you haven't quite thrown your heart over the fence. I kind of felt that way too, as far as, you know, really committing to music at that point. So why don't you go to Long Beach State, because it's right here and you can live at home. So I did that. And there's a few people that have come up in this conversation that I met there. Sal Lozano and I went to school together, Wayne, Andy, a whole bunch of people. And at some point when I thought about transferring to North Texas, I went, those guys are all moving to LA. Maybe I should just stay here. And that worked out. And not long after that, I ended up getting hired at Disney to do, they had a float in 1984, and we all dressed up as 1940s Army airmen and played jazz on this float. And they loved us, we loved it, and they said, thanks, it's over, after about 5-6 months. And but I was in the pool there. So in 1986, I believe, I got a phone call one morning from the band leader saying, can you come right now? Sure. What do you need? He said, we know the day already started, just show up. So I went in there and I showed up, and I was subbing for Eric Marienthal. I don't know if that should be said, but in any case.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and Eric was in the process of going to Chick Corea's electric band right then. So apparently I did okay, because they said, would you like to stay for the whole week? And that started a whole thing where I was like the first call sub for everything.
Wow,
They had sax quartet, they had showbiz, they had all these things. And in '88, they asked me to take Bill Liston's place. Wow. And I did that for a little while, and I know I met Gordon there.
Yes.
I mean, I think I subbed in some of the groups that he was playing in. And I think I'd heard his charts in college. The first time I really remember being taken by them was I subbed in Bill Watrous' big band. And there's charts that I wish we would play now that I played in that, but I'm like, God, who is this guy? This is amazing. And so things moved forward, and I decided in 1997 that it was time to leave Disney. We'll leave it at that. And kind of, you know, move back to town, so to speak. There was kind of a thing at the time where, you know, you've been doing this for quite a while, and, you know, oh, you're available now. So Gordon called me after the first record in 2001, I think, or 2000, I can't remember, and said, hey, we're doing this concert at what is now the Soraya at Northridge. And it'll be our first live thing. Do you want to play second alto?
Wow.
Yeah. So I said, sure. And it went well. And then a few months later, Greg Huckins had decided that he wasn't doing it anymore. And he asked me to join the band. And it's been 25 years. And definitely a highlight of my career.
It's amazing.
The other thing that happened as a result of that is I had been doing a lot of musical theater like Brett. And right before that was the first time I had subbed for Sal Lozano, actually, at the Schubert, which is now gone. See how this works? I mean, it's one big pot
big
that's all
family.
gets screwed up.
Yeah, all float to the top
Yes.
and back to that's the LA
Yeah.
way.
And so I did that for a little while, and then this happened, and then all of a sudden I was really getting a lot of session work. And then thanks to Gordon, people discovered I could play the flute and the clarinet pretty well, and bass clarinet, and that kind of took off. And now I do all sorts of stuff.
Yep. It's amazing. We got session cats here. The whole Phat Band are session guys, which I really love. And Jay, you're such a foundational part of the band. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah.
It's an honor to be
really, thank
doing
you.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got to tell you guys, before we dig into the song, your flute work, when we pull out the flutes, even in back row politics as a joke, as a shtick, it's still so good. And the blend, I mean, usually flutes are very strident and can be annoying. But your flute work is just beautiful. And then your unison everywhere. Yeah, we'll get into it.
If you want strident, just give them some oboes. So just a quick question. Like, obviously, you guys play kind of all of each other's instruments, all the saxophone family, and then flute and clarinet. Any particular favorites, or what do you like naturally gravitate to?
Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay.
I love the clarinet.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
And it started late. I probably didn't take the clarinet seriously until I was 24 years old.
Wow.
I was out of college for a couple of years. I'd done a few tours on saxophone and flute and realized I really needed to get this instrument together. And then went off the deep end, went a little crazy with the clarinet of just every single day, 4 or 5 hours. And what appealed to me was the challenge of it, because it's unlike the other woodwind instruments.
Right.
And so it just takes 3 to 4 times as much time to accomplish the same thing.
So like the suffering.
I'm a masochist. I
Yes.
enjoy the pain.
Oh, I
and
know.
misery.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
How about you, Annie?
Oh, I enjoy it too. I like clarinet too.
Yeah.
It's what I started on. It's truly what it feels natural. We were talking about it. I really do not like saxophone. I want to put that on the record. I don't like saxophone.
This is so
Blows my
opposite
mind.
compared to
Do not
the
like
It
last
is,
track.
it
It's
is
funny.
so true, completely opposite.
They're all like, yeah, my clarinet's great when I want to start a fire.
Yeah, no. Well, we're the doublers.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
You are.
Yeah.
But I started on it, and I was late to start on saxophone. So as much as I enjoy it, and it's something that I have to play when I play clarinet, it feels 100% different. It makes sense.
Right.
Physically, it makes sense. Therefore, I enjoy it. I feel like I'm being the most honest musician
Oh, I
I am
love
when I
that.
play clarinet.
Well, you're masterful at it too.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
You really are.
You
So,
definitely have a
yeah.
voice. Yeah,
Right,
look at
yeah,
us.
we're like,
This is-
"Ooh."
Yeah, absolutely. All right, have any of you guys tried to shed Jorge Calandrelli's Concerto for Jazz Clarinet? You have checked that out?
Yes,
You're the masochist, have you?
No, I have not.
very
No.
slowly.
Yes, very
Yeah.
slowly.
Woo! Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
just a deep cut for our listeners. Check that one out.
Yeah,
All
for
right,
sure.
you, Jay, what's your
Um,
choice?
Well, I'm the nut job because I play oboe and English horn. Wow. And that I did the same thing Brett did. I think I was probably in my mid to late 20s when I finally got serious about the oboe. And Gordon actually figures in that instrument a little bit because I remember we did a session one time and Dan Savant had recommended me, and Gordon walked over, he goes like, "Man, you're the real deal on this thing." So that was kind of a lovely compliment to
Yeah.
get. So as far as the doubles are concerned, flute's always been my favorite because it's the first one that I really worked hard at.
Wow.
Probably followed by the oboe because I put a lot of time in on that. I like the clarinet. I'm not going to say what these guys say, but I'm sorry, the top of the list is still alto saxophone.
Oh,
Yeah.
sure,
Yeah.
sure.
Which
I
is
like
interesting
Jay.
because I play baritone in this band, and I remember when he asked me to play baritone, I'm like, okay, I play baritone, and so I'll come in and do it. But to me, it's like there's been a lot of growth on that instrument for 25 years, So, but alto's kind of the top of the list for me.
Wow.
That is interesting.
Legend.
All right, well, we want to talk to you guys about Hunting Wabbits 25.
Okay.
Okay. So the soli section on this song is just...
Stressful.
That's not the word I was going to use. It's incredible and perfect. And anyway, let's take a quick listen, then we'll chat.
From the tippity top.
Okay.
Oh, man.
So good, you guys. So good, so good, so good. How do you feel when you play that live?
I think he said it. It's a bit stressful.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been doing it that was on the very first record I played on.
Okay.
XXL, I think, right?
Yeah, it is XXL.
And it's never gotten easier.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, and then we have this new version of Hunting Wabbits 25 where
Right.
we have added strings and timpani. So that's made our live show a little more complicated. As we've talked about a few times with the other guys, Gordon wanted to bring in the tracks. He wants us to play live with the strings and timp. So we've added it in. So the soli sections can't breathe as much as they did without Ray keeping the click time.
Right.
You know, he has to keep us on track. Otherwise, when the strings come in, it'll be a total disaster.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that a little bit. How do you still keep the life and personality of this section along with a click?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think I played it with the click.
Oh, you haven't done it yet?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, wait.
But,
Just
uh,
wait.
The
Just
only guy
right.
that's done
Yeah,
it.
you two have done it, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thought you had.
For me, it's difficult because I think the progress of Hunting Wabbits organically from the beginning to the solo to the blues, playing it live was such a big part of it that changing it to the click now is equally as good, if not better, but it comes with some different
Sure.
focus.
Sure.
You know, now it has to be this way. It has to be X amount of repeats. When is the click going out? You know, so I think it's a good challenge for us to try something different and hopefully offer something different to the audience.
Well, out front, it is thrilling.
Sure.
It is thrilling. And it is nodding to what the direction we're going with the new album. So,
What
you know.
about Hunting Wabbits live or with track is it that makes it challenging? Obviously, it's so exposed. Is it just like the shaping, the articulation, any range? Like what about it is it the challenging part?
You wanna go
I'll
first?
address that, I guess. Well, if you think about the journey that chart goes on, we're playing basically modified classical saxophone, for lack of a better way to
Right.
say
Yeah.
it, at the top. And we finish that, and then the other solis happen, right? And when that whole thing ends, it just goes into this groove, you know, this swing groove on the minor blues. And, you know, whatever the soloist is doing their thing and all this kind of stuff. But we get into that spot where it does the, you know, the ba-da-da-da-da, that thing, and then it's a whole nother vibe. And I'm down on low A's on the baritone.
Oh, yeah.
And when Gordon is like, sneak in crescendo. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah,
All our saxophone players out there are going like, it really says
the
that?
written A is the lowest on
That's
the
the
baritone
hard,
sax,
yeah, you know. And then we get into that thing at the end where it's kind of the whole band's doing that sort of modified classical thing. And I don't know if the listeners know, but it takes off tempo-wise. I'll say that on the tracks, it goes lightning compared to what we did on the first recording.
Which is fascinating to me that happened. You know, I think you guys are just
like it.
excited or something.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I think that really is a big part of what makes it challenging is you're going on this journey through all these different cycles.
Yeah.
Plus, he really takes full advantage of. I mean, think about the trombone soli.
Yep.
Yep.
And Andy up there going, on that high note. He just takes full advantage of what we're all capable of.
Right.
Yeah.
He thinks.
Yeah, exactly. Well, the song really features each section beautifully.
Right.
And also, I love it because it shows Gordon's cinematic skills as a
Definitely.
composer.
Right.
And then alongside that it's the number 2 most popular song for kids to play.
Oh, definitely.
It's amazing how his charts, especially Hunting Wabbits, Jazz Police, have just spanned the ages. And if we don't do them, I get complaints. I literally get emails going, "Why didn't you do Hunting Wabbits? Why didn't you do this?" So
that's the hard part.
It's really amazing.
Like to me, and I don't know how you feel about it, but we'll play some tunes, and you can tell people maybe are still talking a little bit. As soon as he would say Hunting Wabbits, it'll be like "woo," and then quiet.
Yep.
So they know it.
Yeah.
So if we mess up,
Right.
and it's also a very weird thing. Like every time we played it, I haven't been in a spot where someone messed up. If someone were to mess up, I don't know what would happen. Because then we're on such an out of
Listen to the trombone
Yeah,
interview.
they have a conversation about it. Actually, talk to the trombone section.
Okay, great. Yeah. But to me, that's the stressor. In top of also just playing in tune.
Yeah.
During like a tricky passage
Yeah.
of notes, he's writing. He knows how to write. He knew how to write for saxophone so well. But like Danny playing like those high notes on sopranos, like it's almost like the more you think about it, the more chances you have to mess it up. So just play it
Interesting.
and see how it goes.
And because of the kind of, pseudo classical approach, does it kind of make it, the precision has to be different than maybe what you would do jazz wise with swing and kind of adding a bit of the grease or fur?
Yeah, I mean, when you're exposed on saxophone like that, it can put a magnifying glass on your sense of time. And saxophone being a conical bore instrument, without getting too nerdy about it, when you're playing notes that cover more of the tube, they take longer to respond. And that second alto part is going from a C, which is a short tube note, to a D, which is a long tube note. So they respond completely differently.
the octave key,
And so you're am I thinking of that part right? I played 3 different parts of it.
B and D.
B and D. B and D.
So
yeah.
you're close.
You're jumping over the break.
Yes.
And you have to be like completely constant with your airspeed to get the note to respond.
Just
on
bend
time.
up the C sharp. Well done. No problem.
And at the same time, when you're playing like the second chair, you're listening to where Dan's placing the beat to make sure that you're sitting right within where he wants to feel the chart. This is without the click, obviously, but you're trying to be blended there while still being on top of the time. Because you'll find on saxophone, you go to play a low note, and it's late or it doesn't respond, and you're completely exposed on Hunting Wabbits, so everybody knows. Like if it just doesn't want to speak, everybody knows.
It's always the Barry part. When there's a sub, that's when we freak out. It's like, uh-oh. Because it's just such a hard thing to do. I would never play that part.
I wouldn't know.
Exactly.
And everyone's done it great. It's just different.
Well, that's why we focus in on it on sound check. Yeah, but what's so cool, I talked about this with the trombones, is you notice that during sound check, I'm out there with my phone filming the a cappella soli
collecting
sound check.
evidence.
I am collecting evidence. And it's more just to brag about you guys because you're so awesome. But it's kind of fun to watch your faces too a little bit with my phone in your face, getting it all. You're always like,
oh, I know.
He's clowning.
Exactly. But it doesn't matter that it's sound check. It doesn't matter that there's a sub. Everybody goes, whoop. All right, we got to do this.
You got to play.
And it seems like anytime we have a sub, usually they shed it. Understanding what they're walking into.
100%.
Oh, yeah.
The level, first of all, of writing alone. Gordon's writing, there's no other, right? And then number 2, the level of players in there. Right? So it's a beautiful thing to watch. And even with the level of playing and the complexity of the charts, the eliteness of it all, still, because of who you are and your talent, it feels just effortless. It feels fun, and we put on a great show. So again, thank you guys. It's really, truly amazing, all of you. Yes. I know, we're like, we're not worthy. Well, you guys, thank you so much for coming in and talking about Hunting Wabbits and telling us about yourselves a little bit. And we'll see you on the next episode. Okay? Have a good one.
Thank you. Thank you.
I didn't even hear that note issue that time.
Yeah, it was more timing than pitch, I think.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Big stories, big music, big personalities. This is the Big Phat Pod.
All right, we are back with an incredible interview right now of world-renowned, top-of-the-line, first call session cat, percussionist Brian Kilgore. Woo! We're so glad you're here. And now, what made me ask you to come in is you played on Hunting Wabbits 25. We'll get to that in a minute, but I think, Andrew, you might have a couple of questions for this guy. Huh?
Well, I'm just curious. So you're a session percussionist in LA. Can you tell like a little bit about how you kind of got into that role?
Well, I went to college at Cal State Northridge, which is, of course, where Gordon had been there a few years before me, and so I knew I wanted to end up in LA, so that was a good choice for music school. And then after when I was in school, I started working with Bill Watrous, great jazz drummist, which is really where I met Gordon.
Right.
And we did a ton of gigs, and it was just, Bill was so amazing the way he treated young musicians and helped boost them and pull them up and give them experience and play some great music. So I did that and played with Claire Fisher also during college.
The man, yeah.
Which was amazing also. And then when I finished my degree, I was making a living, doing a few little sessions here, a few records, and then I went on the road with Tina Marie.
Oh, how fun!
Which was just an incredible experience, and she became a close friend. She sang at my wedding.
Oh,
and,
wow!
I mean, just it was a great gig.
I love her.
Doing old school R&B and had some amazing gigs.
I would love to hear some of those backstage experiences.
Oh, there's a lot.
Yeah.
And after touring with her, I started playing on her records, and I that led to just doing a lot of records in the 80s and 90s. And I had a teacher in college, a hand percussionist named Jerry Steinholtz, and he always told me, it's great to play records, but if you want a long arc to your career, you got to do at least some TV and film. So that was always kind of in the back of my mind where I wanted to end up. And so slowly I just worked into that, and
so your approach was more starting with like contemporary and jazz pop styles, and then morphing into more like orchestral and classic.
Right,
okay,
right.
that's
like with and the records I did, a ton of smooth jazz records, a lot of jazz records, and did NWA, those early hip hop records, and just a huge range of rock and roll and all.
It's amazing.
Was there a specialty that or like a specific instrument? Because sometimes I ask percussion players, why not drums? Which I know is
well. The thing that attracted me to percussion, honestly, was percussionists could provide time and rhythm, but they also can just do colors and sounds and all kinds of different stuff. And I love playing, mallets and timpani. And the great thing about studio work is every day is radically different, especially for a percussion. I mean, for all musicians, but percussion, it's just, we have to do such a wide range of instruments, it's a constant challenge. It's,
Yeah.
it's thrilling and terrifying at
Well,
the
it's
same
either
time.
you're counting rests or you're having to switch every bar.
Yeah.
Right.
Or count in 7 as you run 40 feet to play another instrument.
Well, so what was it? 2 weeks ago, we did
Mm-hmm.
a session together, and this was an old school session
Ooh, we like.
where full orchestra, full timpani, and
Yeah.
full choir were in at the same
Yeah.
time
Whoa.
with a conductor. It was for an audiobook of the Bible, and it was huge, epic music.
Big production.
Yeah, and for some reason they wanted the choir in with the orchestra,
Yeah,
just
which
like the
was
old days.
awesome,
It was
'cause
so
it's-
awesome.
It's
you
a sound.
That's when magic can happen. It's when we're all reacting to each other
Right.
in real time. you know,
Yes.
both directions.
Yes,
you know?
it was
So,
very vibrant, very alive. But I was standing kind of to the right where the sopranos were, and next thing I hear is, Vangie, Vangie. And I turn around and I see Brian, and he goes, hey. And I took a second, and I go, oh, Brian, hi, I need to talk to you, hi, and he gave me his condolences, of course, with
Yeah.
Gordon's passing. And then I immediately got into the podcast and how fabulous he was on Hunting Wabbits, and we want to talk. But it was really fun to be able to connect there.
Yeah.
It felt like the old MGM days.
Yeah.
Doing The Wizard of Oz or something like that.
Yeah.
I've only done one session that kind of harkened to an old time thing. We did a Pied Pipers thing with Fletcher and David, who were here on the thing,
right.
and Tiffany Coburn from the group Voctive.
Yeah.
And we sang around one mic.
Oh.
We did a whole.
That's different.
Who was engineering?
That's a good question. It was at East West, and.
Because that's such an old school way to, and an
It
awesome way to do
is.
it.
Yeah, it was.
Looking at each other.
Yeah, it was. Tim Davis did the arrangements, and he was kind of the head honcho. But I just remember being like, this is probably the only time I'll get to do this in an LA studio. So the fact that you had even that to the next level is like, ooh, that is the dream. Because I think that's what people think about when they hear, and they don't maybe realize that so much is striped, meaning like one
Right.
section at a time.
Right.
I had a quick little question about being a percussionist. Obviously, sometimes parts are written out very specifically, and then sometimes it's very, or maybe I'm a composer orchestrator, and sometimes I have a few percussionist buddies. I'll be like, does this make sense, or like, what would you do, or should I just write slashes and just say groove?
Well, for pitch things, vibes, xylophone, temps, that's of course it's best if it's printed out, written out. Although I've done timpani, I've played on. What's the band? Avenged Sevenfold.
Oh, yeah.
And hey, come, we want you to play timpani on this song. So they didn't have any music. They just sent me the song.
Oh,
I,
wow.
listened to the changes and came up with my own part.
That's great.
But unless you know the exact thing you want for hand percussion, it's much more collaborative. So it's better to, I think, if you have an idea, just where to start and when to stop, or any unison licks. Have those written out, but other than that, often the percussionist will know what is going to really work best.
Because it
Right.
really makes a difference. You think
Yeah.
with just drums, it's like, oh yeah, this is sounding great, the groove is fine. But when you add even one percussion instrument on top of that, it does wonders to the
It does.
groove.
And multiple viewpoints in music, as you guys know, it adds dimension. It
Right.
can take something from 2D to 3D or whatever.
Right.
'Cause
Totally.
Multiple perspectives, that's coming together. That's where magic happens. This is why jazz is such a great format, because we're all improvising at the same time.
Right. It's incredible. Well, so on that note, how detailed were Gordon's charts that he sent to you for this one?
They were for Hunting Wabbits. It was pretty detailed, really. Because I did xylophone and temps and I think a few other like orchestral things, Piatti and
Right.
suspended cymbal, stuff like that. But of course, the xylophone stuff was written out,
Right.
and the temp stuff was written out pretty specifically. Although after recording it, when I sent it in, he said he asked me to do a couple changes on the temps going up an octave. And he had said in his note, I think I wrote these parts out originally in the early days of my
Long
career.
time
So
ago.
it was like right at the bottom range of the timpani where it's low, and when you hear it by itself, it sounds amazing. But when you hear it in an ensemble, it gets a little flabby, and it's out of the power range
Okay.
of the
Yeah.
tips. So when you really want something to punch, like the low C's and C sharps and D's on tips, it's pretty flabby. So he had me do it up an octave. And although I suggested, and I don't know if he did it or not, but I suggested you can use both, because that way you get that low,
Yeah.
but you have the power of the
He
And just
probably
mix it,
did,
yeah.
actually. We'll know when we talk with Tommy Vicari.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know?
that's a good thing to think about when it comes to like the bass instruments, whether like the grand casa or timpani, or even like the contrabasses. It's like sometimes because you have all this low register, people say like, oh, that's what they do with the really low stuff, and it's like the power really comes more from saving those for specific moments, but also
Right.
realizing that there's sweet spots to the range as opposed to just bing bong low low.
Absolutely, and that goes for every instrument,
Yeah.
of course. And all the orchestration books say this is the range of the temps, and like everybody thinks, okay, that's doable. And a lot of timpanists in film work will, depending on who the composer is, not even ask and just take something up an octave.
Right.
Yeah,
Because it's gonna be what the composer wants.
Absolutely.
Yeah, take the initiative, and that's the one thing about timpani, for those who don't know or don't play, is they have these little tuning pedals for each of them. Are you playing with usually 4 or 5 timpani, depending?
8.
Eight.
usually.
Okay, all right.
8 or 9,
Nice. Okay.
And it's because you can only have like kind of one pitch at a time. You're having to like move around and do like a foot dance.
Right.
And
right.
and I've heard timpanists be able to play like America the Beautiful on 2 timpani, just like going like or something like that.
And it's always a challenge between the more drums you have, the more pitches you can have ready to go.
Right.
But then the more locations you have to memorize what is where, and they're a little further apart too. So it's kind of we always kind of try to find the sweet spot for how much pedaling to do versus having the pitches up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you ever played the game Simon Says,
yeah.
like with the little red buttons,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
that's 4 colors and 4 pitches. Think of that like 8
Doubled
drums
or more.
and the pitch locations change every 30 seconds.
Right. It's fun to watch you guys.
Yeah.
It's
It's like a dance.
really
it is
fun.
it's a good brain twister.
It is. And to see who's taken what. Anytime I sing live with the full orchestra, I love to watch the percussionists.
Yeah.
And to see how you guys share it, and you move around, you run back and forth. So it's pretty great.
The session we did 2 weeks ago was another challenge for that was the percussion. I was principal percussion, so I decided who plays what. But the section was bisected by the
split.
choir.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
the other half of the section is about 50 feet away.
Right.
We're like
60 singers in
yeah.
between the two sections of percussionists.
Oh, that's
yeah.
crazy.
on the last Star Wars that John Williams did, we had an 80-piece orchestra in there and a 100-piece choir.
Right.
on-
Right.
and it was like
incredible. That's actually
amazing.
perfect.
Was
That
that at
was the
the-
last one.
The Newman stage, is that where that was?
at the Streisand stage.
Oh, okay.
And the
okay.
John Williams building.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes, John Williams Building. That's right. So, your approach to Hunting Wabbits. Do you remember? Were you given much freedom?
Well, it was mostly he wanted the kind of orchestral parts added to the big band,
Right.
which was kind of already done.
Established, right?
So it was pretty much laid out what I did, and it was like
Yeah.
some unison lines
Yes.
with the brass. And
It's so effective. I'll send it to you. It sounds amazing.
Oh, cool.
And it just took it up another notch.
Yeah.
The song was already iconic. It's one of his biggest hits. And
We have more big hits. Bing bong.
hey, bing bong. Okay.
What session did you walk into once, and then you sat down with the music and just went, "Oh my goodness"? Did you ever have one of those where it's just like scary?
Oh, many.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you get good at focusing and doing whatever you have to do to make
Right.
it work.
Right. As we all do.
Any favorite composers or sessions that
I
come
really
to mind?
love the variety that I do. Working with Gordon over the years on so many things, it's always been great. John Williams is amazing.
Yeah.
John Powell, we just did Minions 3,
Right.
super fun. I love Jeff Beal, done a lot of his stuff. His score for Pollock was really special to me. Ludwig Göransson, I love working with him. Alexandre Desplat.
Right. So audience, as you can hear, Brian has a huge resume and has played on so much. It's amazing. What a nice thing to be able to look back on.
It's every day is a different day. One of my early films that was a little scary but went really well was Carter Burwell had written a score that featured Birnbaum. It's like this. It's like a hunting bow with a Gordon resonator on it.
Oh, okay.
It's from Bahia, and you hit it with a stick. You balance it on your pinky, and you hold a stone and touch the string to raise the pitch. And then while you're doing that, you move it on and off your stomach, and it's really complicated.
Whoa.
But so he had written the score to feature this instrument. My friend Mike Fisher was who he had written it for, and he could, of the 4 days, he could only do 2. So he was kind of freaked out about Carter Burwell was about, well, who's going to fill in for you? And this was early in my career, and I walk in, and it's like an 80-piece orchestra, and they put me in a booth, so they can have separation and stuff. And it was 22 pages of fast 7/8 written out constant.
Oh.
The orchestra came in and out. The one thing that was constant was this instrument.
That is nightmare fuel.
Yeah.
And Carter gets up on the podium at like the second hand gets to 10 o'clock, and he's like, he's worried. He goes, let me hear the Birnbaum. And I play it. And he goes, okay, let's go. Click, 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 click. But it went great, and that was one of the movies that kind of got me
solidified your
spot.
List.
Wow, that is quite the audition.
It's a do or die situation.
Fantastic.
So here, got to ask the question: have you ever had the experience of hitting the cymbal or something loud on the wrong beat?
Oh, of course. I mean, we're all human.
Right.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I had one job.
Yeah. Yeah. On Bolero at the Hollywood Bowl one time, I didn't make a mistake, but literally you count the whole time and you play the last I think 6 bars on bass drum, or something.
You're like, where are we? Where are we? What measure are we at? I lost count.
That piece is a masterclass of orchestration.
Yes.
Ravel Bolero, it's just a giant crescendo, and of course percussion comes in just at the
Well, some comes in early.
Yeah.
I was playing Gran Casa this one time, and literally it's a 15-minute piece, and I play the last 15 seconds.
Because the snare drum kind of plays throughout the whole time. Yeah.
And someone who goes, hey, your time's coming up. Come on, you ready? Let's
Where
go.
are we?
You're on.
I'll never tell.
So you met Gordon in college?
He was already gone from college,
Okay.
but I was in college, and I met him with I started playing with Bill Watrous.
Oh, that's right.
The
Okay.
summer of my freshman year,
Okay.
maybe towards the end of my freshman year.
Now, perchance, did you play on any of the Animaniacs sessions with him or Pinky and the Brain?
No, I don't.
Early on.
I did do a couple
I thought you
Animaniacs
said that.
with Mike Englander also, but the one series I did with him back in that era was Road Rovers.
Oh, yes.
So
yeah,
and that was a great experience. And I remember something we had just had our first child.
Aw.
And I remember first session that I saw him on that. I remember the thing he said to me was, "Welcome to the Dad's Club." And it was like it made me feel. It was a sweet thing, and hey, I'm in this club now.
Yeah, he was a wonderful father. He took it very seriously, so he meant it.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. Yeah. Well, Brian, thank you so much for coming tonight and talking with us. This is a whole realm of the music world that I don't know a lot about, so it's really fun. I could pick your brain for a couple hours.
I feel so honored to be that he included me as on part of this last recording.
Well, he loved you, and as soon as he decided he was going to do this, he said to me, Brian Kilgore, which before we let you go, actually, I think you were recording while he was starting treatment, or it was right around there.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So he was kind of in a rough spot while you were recording, and then Wayne stepped in, and then the three of you kind of worked together. So
yeah, and he wrote me a really nice note
I'm
afterwards.
so glad.
And you know, it's in my saved
Save it, yeah.
notes
yeah.
of, you know, things
Yep.
like that. So
It was very worthwhile.
special. And I did do another thing I did with him early on was he had a big band with Chuck Owen.
Oh,
What
was that called?
Back.
Okay, hold on. Not Landline.
I can't
Something.
even remember.
Ooh, I'm gonna look that up. But yes,
Yeah.
early on, he tried with Chuck to get a fat band. I'm sorry, not a fat band, but a big band
Right.
going.
A skinny band.
I know, a skinny band, and it didn't take off. And then I forget how many years in between. But wow,
But it was so great to, you know, have the connection with him. And through CSUN is sort of like
Right.
part of the CSUN club too.
you really are. It's a great school.
And the Watchers thing, that was a big.
Yeah, that's big for Gordon. So again, thank you for coming.
My
It means so much
pleasure.
to me.
Thank you.
Hopefully
Thanks
we'll
for
have
having me.
another old school session, and I'll see you
so.
there.
I hope so.
All right, thanks,
That'd be great.
Brian.
Thanks, Brian.
Thank you.
This is the Big Phat Pod.
Try Make Music, proud sponsor of the Big Phat Pod.
Getting that perfect ensemble sound takes hours in the practice room.
That's why they built Make Music Cloud.
It's an interactive practice platform that actually listens to you play, giving you instant, on-screen feedback on your pitch and rhythm. Wow.
With a massive library of big band charts and all your Gordon Goodwin favorites, it's like having a world-class rhythm section right in your living room.
So sweet. Big Phat Pod listeners can try Make Music for free at makemusic.com/bigphatpod. That's makemusic.com, Big Phat Pod.
All right.
Go do it.
Yep.
It's free, people.
Big Phat
That's right. You heard it. It's time for Big Fat Mail.
Yay!
Vangie, what do we got?
We have one from a family member, one of Gordon's cousins. So I'm going to take a read and listen to what beauty she says. As Gordon's somewhat older cousin, I remember summers when his family always came back to Kansas to see all of the rest of us. He was usually engaged in doing something creative, cartooning or music, of course. It was evident then that he was tuned into some wavelength the rest of us didn't see or hear, though Gordon and I and my brother shared the music gene. I got to hang out with him more when I went to stay in California for a couple of weeks after my high school graduation. And later, Tom, her husband, and I visited when he was at Cal State Northridge and got to attend one of his concerts. His capacity for creative expression was boundless. I discovered a love for jazz in college, so I could appreciate what he was doing on so many more levels. I'm still in awe of his musical genius, his humor, and goodness as a person. I'm so glad he took that risk 25 years ago in founding the Big Phat Band. He made the world richer for it, and I'm so glad the band lives on. Also, I am grateful, personally, that he found such happiness in the last decade of his life with you, Vangie. He is gone much too soon, and I'm among the many who miss him. But we are so fortunate that we can still experience him through his music. I loved seeing him at a few Johnny Mathis concerts where he brought us backstage. A favorite of mine is Johnny singing Let the Good Times Roll with BPB. Another favorite is what Sammy said from an earlier album. Too many favorites to mention, really. Love, Gayleen, Bach, Edgar.
Thank you. That was so sweet.
Gayleen, thank you. And it's been so wonderful gaining new family members by marrying Gordon.
Yeah.
Tom and Gayleen have been really wonderful to us. So thank you for that, Gayleen. Appreciate it.
If you have a touching story or a funny story or a question and you want it to be read and potentially answered, send it to bigfatmail@gmail.com. bigfatmail@gmail.com.
That's right. Thanks, everybody.
Big Phat Mail.
Next time on the Big Phat Pod, we're talking track 9, Glitch in the Simulation.
And it sounds kind of like that. No, not really. Okay. We're bringing in the amazing Danny Kaneyuki again to talk about his soprano solo. And we'll talk to a bunch of the guys in regards to this song. This is a different one for us, but it is awesome. You're going to love it.
It is the future. Join us.
Don't miss it.
All right, and that about does it for us today on the Big Phat Pod.
Yeah, and don't forget to subscribe to us wherever you listen to your podcasts at Big Phat Pod. Also, YouTube and Instagram at Big Phat Pod.
Hey, Vangie, where can folks find you online?
You can find me everywhere. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube at Vangie Gunn, and that's Gunn with 2 N's.
And for me, it's the same thing, except at Andrew Kesler with 1 S. And until next time,
stay shiny,
stay fat,
and keep moving forward. Bye, guys.
Toodles.
Thanks for listening to the Big Phat Pod.
The Big Phat Pod is brought to you by Good Gun Creative, Inc. Executive producer, Vangie Gunn-Goodwin. Co-host and producer, Andrew Kesler. Senior producer, Cindy Guerin. Editing, mixer, and mixing engineer, David Amaya. Consultants, research, and deep dive in all things Phat Band, Gio Washington Wright and Nick Mondello. Email us at bigphatmail@gmail.com. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Big Phat Pod. Also follow us on Spotify, Apple Music, iHeartRadio, or wherever else you listen to your podcasts. And lastly, subscribe to YouTube at Big Phat Pod to see all of our faces in action. Stay shiny, stay fat, and keep moving forward. You got this, you guys.